By the last count, around 100 pages of classified slides and briefing materials from the Pentagon have now been found floating around the internet. The documents range from briefing slides mapping out Ukrainian military positions to assessments of international support for Ukraine. There are sensitive topics, including under what circumstances Vladimir Putin might use nuclear weapons. Some materials were marked top secret. Most are considered genuine. These secrets were sitting on the open web on a Discord server for a month, and nobody noticed. And the truth is, US officials are in the dark as to how much more there is out there. The former NSA contractor Edward Snowden stole over 1 million documents, so it seems reasonable enough to presume that whoever did post them has more of it. We're very pleased to say that tonight Mike Turner, the chairman of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, joins us from Washington. Congressman, thank you very much indeed for being with us. It is extraordinary that these documents were just sitting there on the web and for such a long period of time. Who do you think was responsible?
Right. So the investigations are ongoing with the Department of Justice and the Department of Defense. And there really is at this time not a whole lot known as to how these documents were leaked, who or even who did it, whether it was American or a foreign entity. Even though these documents were in a form where they were photographed and then posted, which would lend itself to think that someone had actual possession of these documents, it could still be a hack that had occurred. But we're going to get to the bottom of this because of two important things. Obviously, one, we need to close this loop. We need to close the leak so that there are not additional documents. And two, get an understanding of what really is the damage that has occurred so that we can do an assessment of what changes we need to make in policy and how we need to help Ukraine.
How do you shut it down?
Well, obviously, getting to the root and getting to the access to these documents. Obviously, when you look at these documents, you can tell from their origins, who has and what levels of access that there are. And as we certainly make changes to them and change policies, restricting additional access to them can help make certain that additional changes, additional policy effects are not leaked. But at the same time, there is, as you just indicated, a great deal of concern as to what else is out there. This may not be all of the documents that had been taken. And so we have to be prepared for what else might be there and how else to address it.
I'm sure in your role as chair of the Intel Committee that you are speaking to allies. What are you saying to them? How are you reassuring them?
Well, you know, everybody has, of course, at one time or another experienced a leak or documents that have been out. And certainly Russia throughout the entire conflict in Ukraine has had that. And we've tried to assist making public what Russian policies is, what Russian plans might be in order to be able to counter them and even to deter Russia from some of the actions that they're taking. But I think mostly as we talk to those who depend upon our being able to control our secrets or that we share our secrets with and our allies, they're understanding that we're working diligently to close this leak, to respond to the risks associated with these documents being out there, but more importantly, changing then the policies and the actions and working with Ukraine and our allies so that these remain a static picture and not a fluid presentation of what's going to happen in Ukraine.
But you'll be aware that after Snowden, the row over presidential records, some of the things President Trump revealed when he was in office, would you accept that there is an extraordinarily cavalier attitude towards classified material in America? I mean, to many people, there is too much access to these documents and too little regard to how it's stored.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I would say, though, that you have seen most recently, both with Trump, President Biden, and with Vice President Pence, where when there has been, a change in who occupies what office, that there have been documents that have gotten lost or have been mishandled, misstored. And as you know, where that is being addressed, it certainly was very disappointing to everyone in Congress when we heard that. But the other aspect is that the United States, because we work so closely with allies, we are in the process of both gathering intelligence, but also disseminating intelligence. The whole aspect of the importance of intelligence is making sure that it's actionable, that it gets in the hands of those who can translate it into to-do lists, and that includes our allies.
Mike Turner, Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, thank you very much indeed for being with us this evening.
Thank you.